Right, Sunday, time for a run. And I haven't run in 2 weeks, guys. Yeah, 2 weeks. Life's just got in the way. So if you've been following this channel, you know that Brian, my partner, went away to New York to do the marathon. And I've been looking after his dog for the last week and a half, and I've now gone home last night. So I haven't done any exercise apart from walking the dog in that time, because the dog was being a bit clingy and I didn't want to leave him on his own. And we did try and run, but the dog didn't really want to run. It was a bit dangerous. He kept weaving in front of me and stopping suddenly to sniff something or eat dandelions, strangely. He's got a thing about dandelions. As you can see, I'm all dressed up in layers, so the weather's suddenly taken a turn over here in the UK. It's got a bit cold. So winter's setting in. Not my favourite time of year, but at least it's the weekend and you can have a bit of lay-in and you don't have to sort of get up at 5-6 a.m. to go do a run when it's really cold. But I don't know what the plan is today. I've got to race 10k in 2 weeks in Spain. So I haven't really trained for it. And obviously if I've not run in 2 weeks, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to have lost a bit more fitness and I'm not very fit to start with at the moment. So I'm not sure what it's going to be like today. I'd like to try and do at least 10k if I can. But I think I'm going to have to just take it slow and get back into it. So I better get on with it. Let's run. It's definitely feeling like hard work today. Definitely going to take it slow today. Now you're probably wondering how Brian got on in New York. Unfortunately, it didn't go to plan. I was hoping to get a sub 3, but it ended up being close to 5.5 hours. So, unfortunately, a week before the marathon, he started getting knee pain. Went to see 2 physios that week. They both said it was due to muscle tightness, basically. So they eased that off. He went to New York. He said the knee was about 80% better. So he was a bit worried going into the marathon that it wouldn't hold out. Unfortunately, he didn't even get a mile into the run before his knee went. So he had to go to the first aid, the 5k mark, get some help. He was going to pull out. They said to him to carry on and walk it off. Gave him ibuprofen, etc. He stopped again, I think, at 10k. Basically, he walked most of it, he hobbled round. But he did it, and he got his medal. So it's probably, in my opinion, his bravest and hardest marathon ever. And I'm really proud of him for not quitting. So well done, Brian, if you're watching this. Brian was going to run a 10k with me in Spain, but I don't think that's going to happen now because his knee is really bad. He's struggling walking or going down the stairs. So I think it's going to be a while before he's mended. But to be honest, I think it's unlikely I'm going to do a good time there. I just haven't done enough training. So I think it's probably going to be one to go and enjoy. There's a big group of 40 runners going. So hopefully be a bit of socialising. The race is on Saturday night. There will no doubt be some beers afterwards. A lot of the guys are doing the half marathon. I'm only doing 10k. So yeah, I've just got to keep things ticking over. Like 10k is hard for me at the moment. I'm like 1 mile in to this run and it's quite heavy on the lungs. I've just lost so much fitness, it's untrue. So my plan after this race is to just try and get some of that back bit by bit without getting injured this time, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So next week, I think I'd really like to do a park run. I've missed park run. So I think really could do doing a longer run than park run next weekend. Because of my injury risk, I don't want to run 2 days in a row. That doesn't work for me. So I need to find a park run where I can run there and run back, basically, from a rail station or whatever. Or I do one here where I live and run another 5k afterwards or before. I don't really want to do that, only because I'm not a huge fan of a local park run. There are others that I prefer, put it that way. So yeah, I'll let you know on that one next week where we end up. Maybe somewhere localish, I think, in Cambridgeshire or Suffolk or even Norfolk, as long as, because I live on the border basically of those counties, so they want nearby somewhere. Oh, I'm getting warm now. I feel like I'm going to have to take some layers off. Oh. Right, it's quite fun. It's that time of year, isn't it? November, where we start thinking about next year and what our goals are for next year. And I think for me, after this 10k race in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to concentrate on getting my park run time down. The fastest this year has been 27 minutes 19, which I know I can beat with a bit of focus and specific training. So the idea being that I get that time down a bit by the end of the year. I'd love to get sub 27, even better, 26 and a half. But we'll have to see. If you want to know how I get on, please consider subscribing. And do give this video a like as well, I really appreciate it. It does help me to grow my channel, which I'm trying to do at the moment. As for next year, I'd love to do a half marathon again. I've done about 20 half marathons or maybe more over the years. I've been running since 2012, January 2012 was a New Year's resolution. So nearly 13 years. But the last 2 or 3 years have been really hard with injury after injury after injury, going through menopause transition and various other life issues, of course. So aside from a low base now, I'm really unfit. So I'm going to stick to 10k, I think, for the first half of 2026, because I've got 2 races already booked next year. One in February, which is the London Winter Run, which I love, I've done once before, and Gear 10k in Kings Lynn at the beginning of May. So there's my focus now. I think my A goal is going to be to try and beat last year's Gear 10k time. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link to it at the top of the screen. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. To be able to do a half marathon the second half of next year would be great. Brian's got into Chicago Marathon, so whether I can afford to go there with him or not, I don't know. If not, then I'll probably enter Great Eastern Run in Peterborough, so that's on the same day as Chicago. But again, we'll just have to wait and see what the money situation's like, etc. So what are you training for, either this year or next year? Have you planned your 2026 goals yet? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing about what everyone else is doing. I really miss my runs, you know, for my mental health as well as physical. Immediate plan is to get back into some kind of fitness, because I've done nothing for 2 weeks. So get back into my strength work, my yoga, bit of spinning, trying to run a bit more every week and just gradually build up, but not too quickly. That's the plan, that's my plan. What's yours? Squirrel! I don't know if you saw that, guys. 5k done, just over 30 minutes, halfway around. Let's keep going. Alright, we're back to the point where we started. We'll do another shorter loop round town just to get 10k in, and then we're done. I have done, let me look at my watch, 3.7 miles. So about 6k or so. Gloves have come off, hairbands come off, getting warm. Buff could do with coming off. I'd like to say it's getting easier, but I don't think it is. I think I'm going to have to slow down actually. I've been doing about 9.5 minute miles, 9:35, something like that. And I think I was a bit ambitious today. So it's just take it easy and just get round. I think that's the plan. So I will see you a bit later on when I've finished. Yeah. 5.5 miles, nearly there. 10k done. My chorus heart rate band and my Garmin have synced, and it's adjusted my max heart rate to 180. It had gone down to 179 recently, so I've obviously been working hard today. 9:38 minutes per mile pace. I don't know how long it took me actually. Average heart rate 159, which is probably zone 4, I would imagine, 3 and 4. I'll check when I get home. Productive. First time I've been productive actually. My Garmin has been saying for 2 weeks strained. Right, that took exactly an hour, 7 seconds. Yeah, my Garmin's been saying strained for the last 2 weeks, and yet I haven't been doing any exercise. Well, actually, since before the Great South Run that never was. If you don't know what happened there, check out my video, which I'll put a link to up top here. Yeah, so that was cancelled. But 2 days before, my watch started showing I was strained. And there's no real reason for it. It's not like I've been working any harder than normal. In fact, probably less harder than normal. Maybe that's why. But my heart rate variation was unbalanced and quite low for me. And maybe I've not been sleeping as well. I mean, I've not been sleeping very well since Monty the dog's been here, because he's been keeping me awake at night. Anyway, time to go home. Let's turn around, walk it off, go back home. So I've got to clear up the house from Monty's mess. He's trashed my house. Have a look at this bit of video. And I'll put the stats up on the screen here for today's run so you can have a look. I'd like to get under an hour when I do my 10k race in 2 weeks, but that was hard work today, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I just don't seem to have it in my lungs at the moment, but I can only work on that. I'm not too worried about this 10k race in all honesty. I don't know what the course is like. I think it's quite flat, but whatever. Brian was going to run it with me, but as I said, he's got dodgy knees, so I'm not even sure he's going to be able to walk it around with me. So it's a bit of a shame. He could sit and have a drink and watch me float past and cheer me on, I guess, at the finish. Oh golly. Right, I'm going to head off home, and stay tuned for parkrun next week and for my 10k race in 2 weeks' time. Well, hopefully there'll be a bit of sunshine in southern Spain. That would be good. I'm heading out on the Wednesday. The race is on the Saturday night, and then Brian's joining me actually on the Friday because he's got to work, and then we're both flying home on the Monday, back to work on Tuesday. So it'll be a nice little break anyway. bit of sunshine. Now it's getting cold here in the UK. It'll be a bit of welcome weather. Although it's not too bad. I feel quite warm now. As you can see, the gloves come off, the hats come off, and the buffs come off. I could have done without this gilet thing as well actually today, but anyway, hope you guys are all doing well and your running's going well, and I will see you on the next one next week. Take care, happy running, ciao for now.